Being a marketer's no sweat. You just have to manage dozens of channels, launch hundreds of campaigns, score thousands of leads, and okay, fine, it's a lot of sweat. Unless you have HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools to help you do all that and more. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
Welcome, dear listeners. Welcome to Achtung Millwall. My name is Nick Hart. You're listening to the number one Millwall podcast. You're joining me at a rather mild October evening here at the Den for the visit tonight of Plymouth Argyle to John Berylson Way. Two teams are coming out, as you can hear behind me. Plymouth tonight we're in a kind of a bright yellow and black ensemble. Lions, of course, in their familiar dark blue and white. Your Lions starting 11 sees two changes from that rather disappointing display at home to Derby County last Saturday. In goal, Lucas Jensen. Backline, Ryan Leonard, Jake Cooper, Jeffert Tanganga, Joe Bryan. In front of them, the familiar Jill Saville and Casper Denor duo. Then the attacking three sees George Honeyman, Ryan Essay, Romain Essay. Femi Aziz comes into the side tonight, controversially so by many people's opinions. Up front is the big Serb, scorer of a fantastic goal versus Derby on Saturday. A great individual effort by Mihailo Ivanovic. So the big Serb starts as he's become known. Lions come into today's game, listeners, in truth, needing a win. I don't think there's any place to hide on this issue. Mill sitting 21st, just 1 point above the bottom three. Plymouth Argyle place above us in 20th. Our form is lost, last 5 games, lost, draw, win, lost, draw, so that's rather uninspiring. Just 2 wins all season for Millwall. Plymouth come into it with a win, loss, win, loss, win routine. They are 3 wins for the season, 5 losses, 2 draws, 11 points for them. Is the pressure building on Neil Harris, dear listeners? What do you think? I think we have to find some goals from somewhere. Ivanovic starting tonight is a good start. Whether there's any place for him and Macaulay Langstaff in this formation. Not the way we're set up. A lot of us are calling for 4-4-2. Neil seems very reluctant to go back to that. Maybe got his fingers burned in his first period in charge at the Den, I don't know. But you certainly can't draw your way out of trouble, listeners. Tonight is is it a must-win? I'm going to call it a must-win. I think just to raise spirits around the place, because I left the Den feeling fairly flat Saturday afternoon, going to be really honest. This is the second tranche of fixtures in the Championship. Briefly, last night, I think Coventry were beating QPR at one point, and we were sitting in the bottom 3, but that finished a 1-1 draw, so we are not quite in that third relegation spot. I know it's very, very early. This is be our 11th game of the season, but you start to feel the itchy and scratchy, the heat, if you fall into the bottom 3, listeners. Plymouth will kick us off. They're going to be attacking a cold blow, as per the teachings of the Venerable Bede, back there in Anglo-Saxon England. Mill will be attacking the away end in the first half, as the great man laid down. Away we go. Early attack down the left side for Plymouth. It is on the TV tonight as a ball into the 6-yard box. The Lions flapping around as he is given a penalty. Oh my giddy aunt. Inside the first minute, there was a melee down there. He's offside. Thank Christ for that. The way he pointed was to the spot was for penalty. It was actually for offside. Maybe this referee sees himself as a star turn on the northern nightclub circuit. I don't know. Anyway, no penalty. Bloody hell. I was just going to say the floodlights are in full glory tonight. They have been revamped by this Maxim Hayes outfit that are advertising on the opposite stand, the Dockers stand, and I think they're also on our shirts now. Noticeably brighter. The internal lighting is a bit more, clearer. The floodlights opposite look a bit brighter. This is a parry down the right side. It's Ivanovic penalised. Getting over physical with his man down there. That set my nerves ajar, that penalty shout there, listeners. As the South London press put it in their lowdown on that 1-1 draw versus Derby County, Ivan being Ivan is great when his big chance presents himself. It certainly took that break in midfield very, very well with aplomb. But as they put it here rightly, their snapshot of the game, it wasn't a classic by any stretch of the imagination versus Derby. That much is for sure. Richard Corley writing for the South London, the London News Online as it's known. Macaulay Langstaff is on the bench tonight. Two good chances, as the London News mentioned. That chance where he hit the post in the first half Saturday, and then a good save, in fairness, by the Derby goalkeeper in the second half. So no room for two strikers, certainly to start with. Will we see it if we're chasing the game tonight? It would be great to see our two goal scorers taking the field together in a season that's been pretty much a desert of goals. 13 goals scored from 10 games, so just over one a game, but not much over. Goals win your matches, dear listeners, don't they? A bit of homespun philosophy for you there. Plymouth, of course, managed by Wayne Rooney, one of the greatest international players. He hasn't proven to be much as a manager so far, at least. This is Plymouth coming down our right side in possession. So they got beat 5-0 at the weekend, so as we said in a previous show, banana skins lining up at Millwall when you face a team in poor form. They got stuffed at the weekend. There's often only one result, isn't there? Wayne Rooney, speaking to the Plymouth Argyle official website, says Millwall are slightly different to what they have been in the past few years. Maybe not as direct as they were, but they play with a lot of intensity. They try and overrun you and rely on a lot of second balls, says Rooney. Was he ever Runo? Probably wasn't. Doesn't quite say that this is a difficult place to go to. Doesn't quite use that cliche, but he does say if you're allowed a crowd here to take part in the game, it can be a very hostile venue. They've got to stick to their game plan, says Wayne Rooney. We shall see, dear listeners. It's on TV tonight, isn't it? It's Sky TV on their red button. Did I toy with the idea of leaving it and watching it on the TV? Would I do that to you, dear listeners? Would I leave you in the lurch to do that? You know the answer to that question. Plymouth are knocking the ball around, trying to play football, as they say, deep in their own half. We are coming towards 5 minutes. Wayne Rooney's proclivities being discussed in a humorous manner there. Be nice to see Femi Aziz do something tonight. He took a bit of stick, including myself, was critical of him on Saturday's performance. Rightly so, in my opinion. But it'd be great to see him respond to that. It'd be great to see him make a real contribution to this side tonight. I want to see that. I think everyone in the ground wants to see that. The best way to stick it back down the throats of your critics is to perform, isn't it? Do we have any deep hostility to Wayne Rooney beyond him being a celebrity and a famous person? I don't think we've ever crossed his path, really, have we? Or have we? I can't remember if we have. Anyway, what am I talking about? It's Millwall. You draw the heat down there, listeners. Free kick. This is Joe Bryan. He's taking it short. He's found George Honeyman in a lot of space on the left side. He checks. Ball across, trying to thread it through the eye of the needle. It's a weak shot there from Joe Saville. No venom in that whatsoever. 9 minutes. Is he still top scorer for England, Wayne Rooney? He was certainly in the conversation. I don't know if it's still Gary Lineker or if it's Wayne Rooney. I haven't checked the stats on that, listeners. Let me know. Correct me. Happy to be corrected. Is Wayne Rooney still top goal scorer for England, or is it Gary Lineker? Or is it Harry Kane now? I suppose maybe Harry Kane. Great take on the chest by Joe Bryan. He's on a run, surging runner. He gets clipped. Free kick. Taken quickly, I think Aziz looks like... Well, no, he's kept onside. Ball overlapping his Honeyman. Ball into the mix. Cleared by the Plymouth defence. We're starting to get at this Plymouth side now a little bit after that cold start. Cold, cold start. Is that a song? Cold, cold heart. 10 minutes into the game. Mill starting to pass the ball. Move it around a little bit. Drawing free kicks. No. Saturday's game was described by Richard Corley as a bruising affair. Derby had a few bruisers, writing in the London News Online. And so far, this game has not been bruising, but it's been a series of petty free kicks. Good work there by Romain Esse. Wins the ball, takes it, dispossesses his man. We've got outnumbering here. What will he do? He finds George Honeyman into the box. Romain Esse, 1-0! Beautifully taken, Romain Esse. Ball back from George Honeyman. Right-sided cross into the path of Romain, who slots it home with aplomb. 1-0 Millwall, 12 minutes in. Nice move. Good work, Romain Esse, winning the ball back. Let's watch it again. Halfway line, Romain stumbles. Romain gets his body in between him and the ball, dispossesses him, runs through on goal. Great overlapping run by George Honeyman there. He then passes it straight back from whence it came to Romain Esse, puts it away with aplomb. Nicely done. One of our own. Well, that's got the crowd buzzing, dear listeners. Good goal. Well taken. Apparently the travelling public of 1,400 for Plymouth here tonight. That's a fair turnout. Well done then. That's indeed how many have come up there. Long way to come. Many might be London-based, I suppose, rather than travelling up from the West Country, but it's a fair old distance if they've come up tonight. Here come Argyle. This is the 8 on the right side. There's a ball into the box. Header on target from the 9 into the belly of Lucas Jensen. He took that well, dear listeners. I was a bit critical of some of his communication or lack of Saturday, but also on previous occasions. But that was a good reflex save there. That was a decent header on target. Just going past 15 minutes, nearly 16 minutes there. He could do a bit of a moment of glory, Femi Aziz. He needs something. He needs to get involved. He needs to find some confidence here. He needs to have the depth, the credit in the Den bank, so to speak, to establish his name here, in my opinion. This is now Plymouth on the right side. They favour a long crossfield pass, dear listeners. This is the 10, about halfway inside our half. Goes to the 2, left side now. Coming into the penalty area, ball into the box. That's taken nicely by Lucas Jensen. There's a man lurking near the far post there. Had a few nice messages about the Trevor Lee interview that we did on Wall Talk recently. In fact, Trevor was walking around the side of the pitch. I think he must be guest of the club here tonight. Do have a listen to it. There's also a nice little video piece with Romain Esse speaking to Trevor Lee on the Mill TV website. But the Wall Talk episode, I've really enjoyed doing that, and I'm hoping we can get some more interviews of a similar standing in the future. It's an interesting thing to do and be involved in. Do have a listen to it. It's on. You can listen to the podcast for nothing. This is Femi Aziz now on the left side. He gets the ball back, done well there, but angled back but into the defender. Unfortunately, there's going to be a foul given away against Eva. I'm going to call him Eva. Plymouth on our left. Romain Esse, he's doing the defensive work, dear listeners. He's back there helping on defence. Now, this is for me, this is gold dust if you have an attacking-minded talent, and we all know what talent he is going forwards. But he's also now got the feather in his bows, or feather in his cap of doing the defensive work. That's got to be on every manager's dream list, mustn't it, dear listeners? 22 minutes, halfway through the first half. Lions leading by an early goal from the man himself, Romain Esse. Increasingly looking more and more assured as the quarter's gone on. Another goal would make it feel a lot more comfortable. Until I've been going Millwall for about 50 odd years when I say that, listeners, can't you? I did see on Twitter, I think it must be Mihailo's dad posted that he's going to score tonight, Mihailo, from a free kick, Muhammad Ali style, naming the manner of the goal, and the fact he's going to score at all, let alone the manner of the goal. He's going to score from a free kick tonight, says Mihailo's dad. Tongues in cheek, of course. he's a great advocate for his boy, of course. Big shout out to Mihailo's dad. He must be immensely proud of it to see his son develop and his career taking off as it is. So a big shout out to him. Well, 30 minutes in, Plymouth are passing the ball around. They had one chance, didn't they? That crossing from the right, which the 9, I think it was, got his header to. It was straight at Lucas Jensen. It's about the only chance I can think of that they've created. They've had a fair amount of possession one way and the other, but it's passing backwards and forwards. A lot of diagonals from Plymouth. Millwall, by contrast, since the goal, we've looked attractive, but just got to be careful we don't go off the boil too much, dear listeners. This is Joe Bryan now on the left. Jules Honeyman on the left. Aziz. Bryan wisely leaves it. Aziz gets a nice looking cross in there. It's also Honeyman. This is Ivanovic. Honeyman. This is Aziz. Brought away in the event by the Plymouth defence. Little moment there. Nice move. Down the left side. A little bit of spark in Millwall. Got the crowd up. Out there, Sloth. That's a poor ball by Tanganga. That's going to run through for Jensen to collect in goal. Nice move. 34 minutes, dear listeners, on my Bazell watch. My favourite, a Bazell watch. Casio tonight. I'll tell you that because I can't see the clock, the stadium clock from where I sit. And these little points of detail are what make the salt and vinegar of your life, listening to this show. The daddy's ketchup on your chips. Ball over the top. I think Joe Bryan needed to have been a mind reader and a greyhound there to have read that goal kick. Lovely through ball as Honeyman can't quite keep it in play. A lovely through ball became a nothing moment there and put it straight into touch. Big shout out to Alex Aldrich, the pantomime villain figure. I like Alex. I've kind of half know him from the past. The House of Fun days, etc. He was obviously a scout and then director of football until the summertime night at the Long Knives here at the Den. He's got a job working in the MLS as director of football operations, I think he said it was, for the Colorado Rapids in the American League. So very nice. Well done, Alex. Big shout out to you, mate, if you're listening. Bryan and Mihailo getting in each other's way there. And Bryan got in his way, basically, but has that kind of sullen, passive-aggressive looking face that says everything that happens in this world is somebody else's fault, not his. Well, I think he actually did get in the way of Mihailo's, who's shaping to make a run through. Mr. Latte Larry. Plymouth on their left side. Check. Good block. Shot in from the left side there. They keep possession. They're looking to try and work anything they can over there. Penalty. Plymouth in possession. On the D, the 10. Ooh, shot scuffs wide off of a Millwall block, I think. Jensen was down, but dangerous looking moment there. It's gone for a left-sided corner. Plymouth's first of the game. 39 minutes, left side. Nicely cut out Joe Bryan. Can he release Aziz? He can release Aziz. He's got Mihailo inside him. He's got a shot on across the face of the goal. Not on target. Wide right. Daisy cutter. Little moment of danger there. 42 minutes. There's a poor ball out from defence from the Plymouth goalkeeper. Just about survived by the skin of their teeth there. It does fall to Ryan Leonard on the halfway line. This is playing out from the back business. I'm probably preaching to the choir here, listeners, but I don't know why teams do it. There we are. Unless you're Pep Guardiola with a world 11 at your disposal, it always looks very dangerous to me. Romain Esse, beautiful little bit of ball skills there. It's a ball back to Premier Aziz with a head on target, but no power there. But lovely pirouette. I'm going to have to employ some more ballet terms here, listeners. A pirouette by Romain Esse over on the right wing now. I think I dropped a reference to Swan Lake in the last one. I'm going to have to bone up a bit on ballet. I've got to be honest. beyond saying pirouette and Swan Lake, I'm slightly out of ammunition when it comes to a decent ballet conversation. 1 minute of time allowed, end of the half. It's been a pretty satisfactory half by Millwall. Obviously leading by that Romanes, a goal early. Plymouth had one chance that springs to mind, which was the header that I've mentioned already. Ball in from the right side. The line headed it on target, but Lucas Jensen was equal to it. Otherwise, possession, but no danger. Millwall have had some good, attractive build-up play, but since the goal, nothing directly in front of the danger area. So there we are. That's the story of the season. As it is, though, it's 1-0, and if it stays this way to half-time, I think we can be reasonably satisfied with the way it's turned out. There it is, Millwall 1, Plymouth Argyle 0 at the break. We'll be back after these messages.
Sports Social, now on the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Hi, Ben here from the Fantasy EFL Show. Come and join myself and Jay for all your latest Fantasy EFL updates, where we will be talking through key fixtures each game week, teams and players to watch, and giving our opinion on who should be in your fantasy teams. We'll be joined by some of your favourite Football League faces and fans from teams who we think will be racking up the points that game week. Make sure you follow and listen to the Fantasy EFL Show wherever you get your podcasts and join us on that Fantasy EFL journey.
Achtung, Millwall.
Two sides are out for the second half, dear listeners. Millwall will be attacking the cold blow in the second half, as per the teachings of the Venerable Bede, of course. The yellow-clad Plymouth will be attacking their away support. Haven't heard much from them. There's 1,400 of them over there. I must admit it's been pretty quiet. Flat old Wednesday night football is always a flat event, isn't it, at the Den? I think we're waiting for the signal from the TV director. There we go. I think we could do with a second goal, dear listeners. I thought we warmed into that first half after that scare of a moment where I thought we'd been, conceded a first minute penalty. I thought we warmed up into the game as it went along without really threatening much after the goal. We need to start threatening more going forwards. Honeyman's worked very hard, chasing the defenders down there as they pass it back and forth. And South London make the point on Saturday that we had Femi Aziz and Ivanovic as our only attacking options from the bench. And tonight, I suppose, our only attacking option, with them starting, is Macaulay Langstaff. So not a huge amount of resources to play with, which Neil Harris has made the point of one way and the other many times across this season. This is a free kick. We're about 2 minutes in, 47 minutes. Right side, Ryan Leonard will take it. Nearly on the halfway line. He's going to chip it in and does. Falls to the head of Jake Cooper. It's bouncing in the air. Bouncing around. And cleared. It's the ball down the channel for Miha. Eva. He's forced the corner. Done well. He's a physical player. He's been feeding on scraps, as they say, tonight. But every time he gets near the ball, he wants to take it with intent, dear listeners. With malicious intent. Right-sided corner again. Can we beat the first defender? Ball over the top. There's a run through. This is Aziz. What can he do? It's off the line. Oh, almost ran it through single-handed there, dear listeners. Couldn't quite get a shot on target. There's a ball out leftwards from Honeyman to Mihailo. That's going to go for a throw-in on the left side. Big chance there. Have to see that one again. Comes towards 52 minutes. I did see, thinking of ineffective wingers, I saw Tyler Bury has joined Carlisle United. I think it's a loan. A tentative step back into the waters of English football. He went to Denmark and clearly didn't make it out there. Gone up to Carlisle now. Northern outpost of the Roman Empire, of course. Cold wind blowing across Hadrian's Wall. Ball, Honeyman finds Essay. This is now Jules Saville in the centre. Joe Bryan on a run forwards. Overlapping him is Aziz. That's ball in. He's finding a left-sided corner. 59 minutes, dear listeners. Does Joe Bryan give enough attacking threat for you, dear listeners, as he comes forward? He should do, shouldn't he? He should give you a sense of, like Scott Malone used to, that something was possible when he got forward. I've not really seen enough from Joe Bryan on the attack. I know he's had his moments of good defensive work, but you kind of expect more from him going forwards. Anyway, moan. This is a left-sided corner. I shouldn't really be grumbling, should I? In it comes. Deep one. There's a header from Jake Cooper. It bounced on the line and the goalkeeper does collect it easily enough. 60 minutes now. The South London Press's moan of the match. That's quite a nice title, Richard, if you're listening. I like that. Moan of the match from the Derby game was Millwall's set pieces. Neil Harris readily conceding after the game. They were not up to scratch. They haven't really been up to scratch tonight. They haven't really been much better tonight. The best we've looked, it's a bit like the goal tonight, the best we've looked is actually when we get some intricate passing play. We haven't really looked much from any of the dead ball situations at all this season. Trouble is we're not producing enough intricate passing play leading the goals as to, punt us decisively clear of trouble at the moment. All breaks. Femi Aziz on right wing. He gets clumped there. Still in possession of the ball. He's done well there. Ball into the box. It's towards Ivanovic. Just out of his reach of his foot there. Booth clear. Mill still leading by this slender one-goal lead. Better to be leading than not, but it does leave you feeling a bit itchy and scratchy, dear listeners. This is Aziz now. SA's overlapping on the right side. He's got two men in front of him. What can he do? He back heels it is what he can do. This is Aziz now on the right side. He's won himself a right-sided corner. He's actually not looked too bad tonight, in fairness. He's an improvement. Right-sided corner kick. 63 minutes, going towards 64. If we can get a second goal, I will breathe a big sigh of relief right down your headgear. Jules Saville, both arms raised. What does that mean? It's a deep one is what it means. Jake Cooper gets a head to it, rising like a salmon. That's going to go for a left-sided corner. 64 minutes. Second corner in succession. Bit of pressure. Sav on the left now. In comes the corner. Another deep one. Into Jake Cooper, rises. Ball back across the face of the goal from Ivanovic. Quite with some pace and power in front of everybody, but into the danger zone. Plymouth bring away. 66 minutes. Halfway through the second half. It's been fairly evenly matched, I'd say. I mean, Plymouth still haven't carved out a clear chance since the first half. There's a ball down the channel. That's going to go for a goal kick. Slightly overhit there. They haven't had a clear-cut chance that springs to my mind, at least, since that header that I've mentioned already. That's straight at Lucas Jensen in the first half. That said, neither have Millwall. A lot of huff and puff, which thankfully we're on the upside of at the moment. But let's keep our fingers crossed it stays that way. 67 minutes now. Mill substitution. Who's this coming off? 14 for 11. That's Aziz. He's not done bad tonight. He's coming off. Cramp has clearly caught him. Wintle coming in. Is that 14 for Femi Aziz? Well, he's not done too badly tonight. Not done brilliantly, but he's done a lot better than he did on Saturday. There'll be some injury time added at the end of the game. This is good applause for him, as you can hear. What are we on? 75 minutes. Lions still lead by that single goal from the first half. No real danger so far from Plymouth, but you do get that kind of creeping sense of Millwall dread that they only need one chance or one mishap, one moment of slapstick comedy in our defence to put them back into a match that really they haven't really shown anything at all in. So a second goal will be a source of great comfort to me in my old age, dear listeners. free kick awarded to Plymouth. Yellow card to Jacob. Been a few yellows awarded by this referee over the course of the proceedings tonight, dear listeners. This is going to be a free kick about 30 yards out, just right of the D, the Mill penalty area. 71 minutes. Lions need to be on guard here. On guard. There's a shot on target, dipping shot, no problem at all for Jensen, who got down low. I think it was meant to be a shot, wasn't it, rather than a cross. It was on target. No danger. Anyway, that's the only outcome that really counts, dear listeners, isn't it? 77 minutes now. Langstaff coming in for Ivanovic. Gets a good round of applause, put a lot of effort in tonight. He's chased and tackled hard. No moments like Saturday, but done a lot of hard work out there tonight. Mihailo Ivanovic coming in. Looks like Danny Kelly's coming in. Casper Denor, I think, coming out. Langstaff in, Kelly in. Romain Esse named man of the match in the stadium, dear listeners. I think I'll go with that. Goal scorer. By far our most creative and unpredictable influence. We're on 88, going towards 89 minutes. There will be some injury time to be added. So we've got to stay switched on here, dear listeners. Plymouth now pressing forwards. Millwall will kick themselves if they let this one slip, dear listeners. Plymouth haven't really shown much in the way of venom in front of goal. That's headed clear there by Ryan Leonard. The referee doesn't give anything. Joe Bryan, sorry, looking longingly, yearningly at the referee, but nothing doing. There's a ball in. There's a flick header. It's going to go for a goal kick. Ball in from the right, flick header, wide left. Strange game overall. Obviously Millwall still work to be done as I'm speaking, but coming into 92 minutes, 90 plus 2. Been a better side without really, turning you on, if you know what I mean, dear listeners. Plymouth haven't really shown much at all coming forwards, but they're only ever one slip up, one chance away from getting that opportunity. So a win will be a win, and we're grateful for it if that's how it turns out as I'm speaking. But it's left a slightly flat taste in my mouth. I'll think about and analyse why that is after the game. But at the moment it's okay, but it's not compulsively exciting. A win's a win though. We'll give a goal kick. That was a corner. Ooh. No, he's getting it as a corner. Left-sided corner. I thought even I felt guilty accepting that one. But anyway, here's a left-sided corner, the 20 to take. We're on 90 plus 4, I make it. This is where we fell foul on Saturday, of course. Plymouth have crowded the 6-yard box. They may well have seen that goal on Saturday. Looking to hassle Lucas Jensen. Here it comes. It's in swinging one. It falls around. There's slapstick stuff. There's the 20, the 35 shot over the bar, thankfully. Another one spilled in the danger zone, listeners. Fuck's sake, like the man says. We dodge it, though. Just. There it is. A valuable win. Much needed win. A little bit fingernails towards the end there, but, let's not complain too much. Late chance there for Plymouth, probably their best chance of the second half. Lions deserving winners, but they made hard work of it, that's for sure. Millwall 1, Plymouth Argyle 0, and to dust off the Status Quo album, greatest hits. Come on, Mr. Bye for now. There it is.
Achtung, Millwall.
Welcome back to the show, dear listeners. Joining me to chew over the cud of last night's 1-0 win over Plymouth Argyle is show regular Michael Avery. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Hello, mate. How are we? Good to be back on the main feed, if you will.
The main feed. Yeah, because normally you're our Erith Town correspondent. That's actually going quite well, that Erith Town show. You've been nominated for the FCA Podcast Awards, which is quite something, isn't it? You know, in the shortlist anyway.
Yeah, no, it's not bad at all. And I'll be honest with you, when we first started doing it, it was a kind of way of just go, here you go, is just another way of just people finding out about it. But ironically, we have more listeners than people at the game.
Yeah, that's a strange thing,
which is really odd. But,
yeah,
it's a weird one because like you'll know a bit more, Nick, and other people who do podcasts. But after a little while, you feel like you've got a bit of a duty to keep doing it.
Yeah,
if you get what I mean.
Yeah,
so, like I've had like a couple of people come up to me and like, because obviously I don't go like every single week. I do go a lot, obviously. But I don't go every single week because, you know, you've got family commitments, and obviously I've got my Millwall season ticket as well, so I've got Millwall games as well, all that kind of stuff. But what will happen is if I don't go for, say, like a couple of weeks, if it's like a Wednesday away at Herne Bay, and I think, well, I've got things to do and all this clashes, people will come up to me on a Saturday and go, oh, where was your Wednesday? Because like I've not heard the pod. And like a couple of the players, without going into too much detail, but a couple of players, they're like, oh, my family live miles away. They listen to hear how we're getting on. So you feel a bit like I feel like I'm like a poor man's Aaron Paul, reporting on games.
The main difference with the superstar that is Aaron Paul, who I saw last night, he was at the ground last night, listeners, is that he's getting paid to do it.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference, listeners. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's an odd thing. I mean, I've always said, Mike, before we go into last night's game, I've always said, as long as I enjoy doing this, I will carry on doing it. And there are some times where you do feel this kind of odd sense of obligation, even though none exists. You're under no contractual obligation whatsoever to do anything at all. But, you know, people do enjoy the show, and I'm aware of that. But then there's also a slight sense of you become property of other people, the public property almost, you know. So it's a very weird thing about it. But yeah, I mean, as long as I can enjoy doing it, and as long as I'm, to me at least, still sounding reasonably coherent, I'll carry on, dear listeners.
Well, do you know the one that always got me as well? Me and you did a show a couple of years ago, and I always remember somebody sent a picture of like a swimming pool in like Alicante or something like that, and they were like, I'm just listening to Nick Hart and Michael Avery, and I'm thinking, that fella's in his budgie smugglers with all his flesh on display listening to me. It's a bit of a worry.
Yeah. I mean, we get obviously voicemails from all over the world. I think of Aussie Dave out there in Western Australia, and a chap once contacted me saying he was driving across the Australian outback listening to Achtung Millwall. It's a very odd sense. I mean, it's quite heartwarming in a way, and it is quite touching when people.
And do you know the thing that got me as well? Like, again, without trying to wax lyrical about how brilliant we are, but the one thing that I always remember is, do you remember the obviously the COVID season when we was doing our look back and our reviews? Yeah. And me and you, didn't we? I think we done one of the first ones, and it was I think it was the first season back in the Championship under Kenny Jackett.
Yeah.
And like, I remember the download figures were massive, and you're thinking, flipping hell, we're like helping keep people sane at the moment.
Well, there's a lot of that. Yeah, there's a lot of that. And I mean, a lot of podcasting, I think, really took off at that point. It's become quite a boom zone. Everyone's at it, listeners, now, including the non-league scene. We just mentioned Erith Town. I notice other clubs are also starting to try and get in on the ad, because it is a great advert for your club, whether it be Millwall FC or whether it be Erith Town or anyone else for that matter. So, you know, it's a great medium, and long may it continue. But anyway, we're straying far from the path, Michael, of last night's 1-0 win. Rather uninspiring win for me over Plymouth. A 13th minute goal by Romain Esse, star boy, as the official club's email has just described him. And I think he is our star boy. He left the field hobbling last night, and you do have a sense that you've just put the Ming vase through the dishwasher, Mike. Because he's a bit of a lone light. I mean, Ivanovic looks the part as well to me. So possibly we've got two talents now. But the rest of the game last night felt a very a journeyman kind of experience. How did you see it last night?
Do you know what? There's little bits of me where if I'm being sort of negative or overly critical, I'd say it was very job done. That kind of performance. We scored early, and to be fair, Plymouth just didn't offer anything, did they? In my opinion, in the grand scheme of things, they weren't like constantly bombarding us with attacks. They didn't really do a great deal with the ball, kind of thing.
No.
So you could, but in my opinion, it was a kind of job done. But again, it's always that kind of you can only beat what's in front of you kind of thing. If we would have played against a better side like that, one of the top six, would we have been in trouble? More than likely. But for me, the way it's been recently at the Den, with some performances, the way, you said it on your last show about how the mood is kind of at the Den at the moment, how it is, there's always the Neil Harris Gallen thing going on.
Yeah.
At the moment in time, and we said it at half time, that, we're getting a bit sick and tired of playing well and drawing games because of silly mistakes. I think at this moment in time, take the wins as they come at the moment.
Oh, 100%. It was a very welcome win, listeners. Don't get me wrong. I going down there last night, I thought to myself, whatever the performance, we just need to get 3 points here, and we've done that, Mike. So that is job done, as you rightly describe it. I think Plymouth didn't offer much. You're right. They played a lot of possession football. I think it was a 60-40 split-ish against us in terms of possession. So it's one of those classic Millwall wins where we've only had the ball 40% of the time. The opponents playing it all around in the modern style across their back line, backwards and forwards, playing from the back, which seemed to put them in trouble more than any kind of creative element might come from that. But I can't help, and I don't know if I'm just being a little bit, I don't know if it's negativity. I don't want to be negative, but, there was the opening near miss penalty shout, which turned out to be offside. I've watched that again on the highlight reel on the club website, Mike, and I don't know if it was offside. I think we caught a break there. It was a stumble inside the box. The man's gone down. Referee's pointed straight at the spot inside the first minute. And then thankfully our bacon is saved by the linesman. I'm watching it again. I don't know if you've had a chance to see it, but I'm not sure he was as offside as all that. We caught a break there, I thought, in that opening minute. Because if we'd have gone 1-0 down, that would have really punctured our balloon of the desire to lift our spirits would have been, shot down slightly in the opening seconds of the game. So I think we caught a bit of a lucky break there.
Yeah, no, you're right. One thing I will say is, though, and this is one of the things where I think to a degree with stats, they don't always tell the full story. Because ultimately, yes, like I'm looking on BBC now, and the reason I'm looking on it is because I made a point I was going to mention it, so I just want to get it right. 61.4% Plymouth, 38.6% Millwall.
Right.
Yeah, okay, they had 2/3 of possession. But Nick, we had 13 shots, they had 9. We had 6 shots on target, they had 2. We had 5 shots off target, they had 2. Our keeper made 2 saves all day. Theirs made 4. We won 17 aerial duels. They might have had more of the ball, but we was doing more with it.
Yeah, I agree.
And if there was only ever, let's be honest, if there was, there was a dodgy penalty shout and all that, but I was watching it last night thinking, this isn't brilliant, this isn't amazing, but if there's only ever one team who's going to win it, it will be Millwall, because I just don't think Plymouth offered enough for me. And they kept showing the replays on the TV, watching it back of like the sort of cross that coming from the right and the header that was easily saved. I can't think of them doing a lot else. And in truth, we know how Neil Harris sides play, in the sense that, and historic Millwall teams play really, that we like to get people on the break. We like to let them attack us and then we hit them. But if you're 1-0 up and you've got a possession-based team who are liking to play it out from the back but struggling to do so, let them do it. I was saying to my boys last night when they were saying about how the Plymouth were playing, I was like, look, we're 1-0 up. Why do we need to get the ball off them? Why do we need to chase them down? If they're happy just to knock the ball around, and as I said there, 61.4% possession, what did they show for it? Absolutely nothing, because it's not as if they had 61% possession, hit the bar 7 times. Pulled off a body. They had 61% possession, and over an hour and a half, they had 2 shots on target. And one of them was a very routine save.
They had obviously leave aside the penalty offside
Stop being so negative.
No. There was an opportunity for their 9. I think it was a crossing from the right later on in the first half that came in. He put it straight at Lucas Jensen, who took it very easily. I think that was an easy save. He should have done a lot better with that, because I think what's bothering me, Mike, is that, yes, everything you've said is correct. I can't dispute the figures and the shots per possession rate, the expected this and all this kind of business. I can't dispute that. But equally, I do think that Neil Harris, speaking after the game, said that we'd only conceded 5 goals in, I think he said 9 games. I'd have to check that, listeners. But all of that. But when you're in the ground, that 1-0 lead just felt very slender as we went on and on and on through the game. There was the 9 had a header on goal, Mike. I think it had a scuffed shot that was scuffed blocked, and it kind of skidded wide right. Jensen was down for it. He should have got it, but it was a close call. Not much else. I do accept lots of passing the ball around and midfield triangles. All of the stuff we're told is beautiful in the game these days. But then that late kind of moment where there's a corner, a left-sided corner, right at the death of the game, where again, bit of miscommunication, I think, between Jensen and these central defenders. I'm still not entirely convinced they're singing from the same hymn book, Michael. And that's I think things like that just niggle at you and just kind of dig away at your sense of valuable win, of course. But I didn't leave the den last night feeling very convinced by us. But that said, we've gone from the brink of the relegation bottom 3 to the brink of the top 6 with that win. So it's a very tightly backed early phase. Don't get too carried away, no. But I don't know. I don't want to be negative, far from it. And I want to see I want to mention Femi Aziz last night, because I thought he actually did a lot better than what we saw on Saturday at home to Derby. He didn't look much there. He did look a lot better last night. He had a chance in the second half that he really should have done better with. He was put through. It was a nice ball through to find him, and it just couldn't quite get some control on it. And that would have done him a power of good to have got that goal if he could have put that away. So I think we're just on the brink of either gaining confidence, also on the brink of losing it with one crack. So good result, but I don't think we should be too overblown about it, personally.
No. And this goes back to what I said at the beginning, where it is a kind of job done type of win for me. And when you, like I said, when you was in the situation we was in and you're desperate for a win, you've got one now, so you build on it. They always say, don't they, a sign of a good side is ones who don't play particularly well and win. Granted, Plymouth weren't brilliant, but we still played a team who, let's be honest with you, Plymouth, they're always one of those teams you just don't like playing, because I don't know whether it's because they're so far away, they're practically in another time zone, but you never really know what you're going to get with them, do you? It's always one of those things, whenever you used to get Plymouth away, you kind of think, well, we ain't going to get anything there because it's a long old coach journey. Everyone will be knackered, and the Holiday Inn will be shit, But Plymouth are always one of those teams, and correct me if I'm wrong. I don't even think our record against them is amazingly brilliant. They're not one of these teams that we always.
It's a long way away. It's a ground I've never been to, actually. It's
too far away.
Every time they always. That's right. They stick it as a midweek fixture, so I always think I cannot be bothered going all the way down there for a midweeker. I might take it on for a Saturday by train or something.
Yeah. But I mean, looking at Wayne Rooney at the end of the game, I'm just looking at here. He said every attacking player into the field tonight wasn't good enough. True.
Well, that's
true. We didn't hold the ball up well enough. We didn't make enough runs in behind as a whole. That attacking team, the attack players didn't create nowhere near enough. I don't think that, and also as well, for what Tanganga and Cooper had to do last night, I thought they did it pretty well. I mean, we can keep saying about how bad Plymouth were. I always think our defence, especially at the start of this season, they always seem like they've got a mistake in them. And, like you say, 1-0 at the moment with Millwall, you are a little bit shaky because we are prone to a mistake. We are prone to an error.
Yeah.
But the defence has kept a clean sheet at home when we've been notoriously conceding stupid goals recently. So, again, I'm not going to wax lyrical and go, oh, brilliant, this is the start of the promotion push, yada, yada, yada. But little positives we can take from it. Focus on this, focus on that. They didn't do this particularly well, Plymouth. They didn't really do anything with the ball when they had it, even though we gave them time and space every time. they had the ball, they couldn't really break us down. We did okay, but we've got to talk about the star boy, haven't we? Essay, because he ain't going to be around much longer, is he? He keeps playing like this.
Not the way that he's playing. I mean, some of the moves he makes, sometimes you think, blimey, he's at a very, very different level to the rest of the side. No disrespect to our side. I think I called them a journeyman 11. I was more diplomatic. I called us towards the end of the game once he'd left and Ivanovic had gone. Also, I want to mention, because I think he looks a good player. He looks a very strong centre forward. He's still very young. He's got a lot of work to do, but. Romain Essay, wow. Some of the moves, I mean, the goal was taken with really a real deft touch. He started it and he finished that move. Nice ball back from George Honeyman. I thought played well. A lot of industry last night, George Honeyman. But no, Romain Essay, wow. I think he's got the full deck of talents there, Mike. I'll be amazed if we keep him, whether it goes beyond this season. I can't believe we'll keep him beyond the end of this season, because he's just got those levels in him. He should be, he should be expecting of himself to be playing at Premier League level, I think. Tougher level to go to, and defenders will focus on you, which maybe at the moment, they're not so much in the Championship, but his back heel passing is quite something. I've not seen that before.
And do you know what I really like about him? He doesn't play with any fear.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't play with anything. And I remember Neil Harris years ago. I believe it was Neil Harris. It was definitely a Millwall manager, when they were talking about youngsters coming through, and they were saying things as well about how you can't really try youngsters unless they're like absolutely brilliant and amazing and unbelievable. You can't really try youngsters too much in the Championship because of how cutthroat the league is and all that kind of stuff. And you sort of see it with the youngsters who come through, unless they are like a Jack Grealish when he was at Aston Villa in the Championship, or like these next star players who end up playing for Wilfried Zaha. You don't really see too many young players who've got that flair, they've got that excitement. In a nice way, don't take any disrespect from this, listeners, but you expect them to be like that kind of Billy Mitchell type player, who gets the ball, plays hardworking,
edge down,
but to have a player with the confidence and the belief in his own ability that he's able to pull this stuff off is really good to see. And I think I'll be honest with you, don't get me wrong, I wasn't jumping up and down, screaming and shouting when we scored, but the goal we did score, the passing movement and the way we got it in, I was a bit like, wow, that's a top finish from someone so young. And let's be honest, let's remember, he's only just really broke into the side.
Yeah. No, I mean, he has the ability to do things, some of the turns, almost balletic moments, where he can take a ball and turn on a sixpence, as we would have described it once. And then, as I've said already, the back heel passing, because that's how he gets himself out of trouble against Championship level defending. He pulls out a back heel pass that defeats everybody. I don't know what you can do to control that. So, I've not seen that, certainly never seen it in a Millwall player. I was trying to think, actually, in the game last night, have I seen it at all? You're probably going to an international level, top draw players that can do things like that. So I don't want to I just have overcooked him, really, haven't I? But he's got a lot to prove yet. He is only 19, but certainly to see that in a player and the willingness and confidence to try these moves, Michael, is quite something. So, no, I mean, I think we've got to enjoy him.
What pains me? What pains me, he does seem like a very and I'm not saying this to sort of like clickbait, he does seem like that kind of Crystal Palace type player, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It would probably go somewhere like there where they'd they'd put him out on the wing and they'd do this. Zaha, Bolasie, that kind of player. That sort of
I was just on the brink.
That sort of young player.
Just on the brink of apologising to listeners for my sense of unease leaving the den last night. That must have seeped through my commentary, and now you've got to reinforce my sense of unease by linking the name of Romain Essay with Crystal Palace, Michael. So thank you very much for that, mate.
No, that's no problem at all. So at Avery 1986, if you want to slag me off and say, or if I'm not at Millwall, the Stanmore Stadium comes. The Stanmore Stadium.
Yeah.
No, but let's not beat around the bush. I mean, like Harry, we love Harry. Don't get me wrong, but he obviously hates this development thing that the FA and the Premier League have brought in, where they can basically come in and nick all your players really young. And whether you like the club or not, Crystal Palace do kind of go round the sort of London area, picking up the young talent, don't they? And
right.
if you've got one like Romain Esse, and this goes back to it, and we've said it, when people complained about Jed Wallace leaving Millwall those years ago, it's their job, listeners. I'm not being funny. You could be the happiest bloke in the world, but if someone doubles your wage, offers you more pensions, and gives you a bonus for coming in and doing your job well,
who would turn that down? But no, great performance. Being serious last night, star.
My only thing with Esse, I mean, Honeyman's stepping up. Well, not stepping up. I mean, he had a good season last year, obviously, but he has that hard work and the determination that sort of is sort of, you're seeing the fruits of his labour kind of thing. Ivanovic has got. He had that moment of class against Derby, but again, we need to see a run of games how he gets on. My only concern, and you know what, saying about Jed Wallace as well, again, not doing it as a clickbait thing, my only concern is that Esse goes down that route, and if he has a bit of a stinker or is out the side for a amount of time, we struggle.
Yeah, true. There we are, 1-0. On to Swansea on Saturday, Michael. That's always a tough away game, isn't it? A long way to go down to South Wales. I think a draw down there would do me. If we can get a point down there, I think we could probably say...
I'll tell you what, no one has put the sugar... No one's put the sugar in your coffee here today, have they? You're so negative.
No, I'm not negative.
About last night, taking a draw at Swansea. No, I'm only kidding.
We're going to go and defend our way down there. I mean, we might be able to nick it. You can't depend on that. But I think if we can, a bit like what we did at West Brom, if we can take that format and that approach down to Swansea, and if you said to me we'll come back with a 0-0 draw from there, I know that's not much fun for the travelling public, but that would probably be quite a good turnout. On the back of a midweek win. Yeah,
and the thing, and you know what, all jokes aside, you're spot on, because if you look at it again, I've got the table in front of me. Both teams played 11, both teams won 3, both teams drew 4, both teams have lost 4. Our goal difference is +2, theirs is +1, and we're on the same points.
Yeah.
It's got 6 all written all over it.
There we are. I was going to go down there, listeners, on Saturday. Can't make it now. I've got some family stuff to do, so I can't get down there. I shall hopefully follow it via the miracle of social media. So let's hope for a decent showing down there. You're down at Erith on Saturday, I take it, Michael?
Yeah, Swansea's a bit of a far one, to be fair. The club have got Broadbridge Heath.
Where is Broadbridge Heath? I saw that fixture. Where is it? I don't even know.
I have no idea.
I like to think I know most of the geography of at least South East England, but...
Well, Avery Senior said it to me the other day, where is Broadbridge Heath? And I'm like, I'm guessing, Dad, because they're in the South East League, it's somewhere in
Sussex
West
or somewhere like that.
Horsham.
Yeah, possible. Yeah, it must be down that way.
It looks very nice. It looks very... I'm looking at a picture here with the civil parish with a church in it. It looks like something from The Omen.
Idyllic rural England. I like it.
Yeah, with little kids with numbers on their foreheads running around. But yeah, so should if anyone's at a loose end, do pop down.
Go down to SE28. Yeah. No, I would have come along myself, but can't do it Saturday now. So, if you're in the Thamesmead area, there's a lot worse places to go than Erith Town. It's a nice little setup.
And do you know what? In all seriousness, it's getting that. Like I was talking to the owner and chairman about it earlier on today and the other day. Like last season, we the club was getting attendances about like the 110s, 120s, which again isn't disastrously bad for the level. And you're looking at 130s, 140 something. I think last at like a midweek fixture against Margate, and you think how far some of them have come along. We had like 185, and so
I saw that. Also, that's
you get some really good attendances.
That's on a Champions League night where there's plenty of live football to be had. Sky, I think, was showing Championship football, so you're up against some serious opposition in that sense. So to get 180 through the gate at Thamesmead, I think it's pretty good going. So hats off to the ownership of Erith Town. Long may it continue. So no, do get along there Saturday if you're knocking around that area. SE28, dear listeners. Michael, I'm going to let you go, mate. Big thank you for chewing the cud over last night's 1-0 win. Much needed. And it takes us up to the table 2. Let me just check before I let you go. We're now 13th in the table with that win, 6 points away from 6th spot.
Yeah. Doing brilliantly.
Going into the game last night, I think we're all talking relegation. There we are. Big thank you, Mike.
The creaking trap door behind us is getting a little bit quieter, but we can still hear it squeak.
There we go. Big thank you, Michael Avery. Thanks for taking your time out of your day, mate. I appreciate it.
No problem at all. Thank you very much, mate.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.